I woke up this morning to news of a friend's passing, but more than a friend. Uh, someone someone I love, and a very brave, courageous woman who agreed in November last year to share her pain on the podcast without really expressing much pain when we spoke. And she just opened her life to an audience, and she explained how she's coping and battling cancer. I found out really just moments ago, and I did something which I did something with the inspiration for that episode came from a song called Mutineer by Warren Zevon. It's an obscure song. I don't think many people are aware of this song. He's an obscure singer, a very talented singer and songwriter. When I was younger, I was growing up in the States and watching TV late at night. On occasion, I would watch David Letterman, and he invited Warren Zevon to perform on his show. But the performance of Mutineer, which is one of the best songs I've ever, I mean, it's a masterpiece. He performed it knowing that he was dying, and he spoke about his own journey through cancer and his final performance. And the song and the interview after, it stuck with me. And last summer, I was seeing Aimee regularly. I was visiting her in the hospital regularly. And I shared with her the song, and I told her what the whole song was about. She loved it. And somehow, a bit of back and forth, I wanted to make sure she was comfortable, and in the end, she insisted on having her voice preserved on the podcast. So, I'm not going to say much more other than, if you get the chance, listen to her. Her words are forever. Episode 334, Life in a Time of Cholera, Corona, and Cancer. It's embedded in the episode's details box, and for the viewers, you'll see it embedded above. I'm also going to link up Warren Zevon's Mutineer. If you get the chance, check out both. In many ways, this is probably the biggest reason why I do this podcast. Preservation, collective memory, beauty, tragedy, the whole story of individuals in this country that are suffering, many of them in silence, and they're the strongest ones. And her suffering and her journey and her composure and her insistence that she never be treated as sick, even when she was very, very sick, unable to move, locked in her bed for months on end, in pain. She kept her head high until she passed away. And I tried seeing her actually 2 days ago, and the family told me she was in the hospital. But I did get the chance to see her frequently after we recorded. I spoke to her on the phone, and we chatted many times about our preferred sense of humor, which is dark and morbid, but it made us both laugh. And she's a mutineer. Aimee left me with a very important message, and she said to always remember how lucky we are that we can have full control over our body. We can make our own physical decisions. We're not depending on support for every move we make. This kind of freedom, which is the most basic form, she lost. And it took me some time to really appreciate what she's saying, which is we're lucky to simply be here and make decisions on our own. That is something very basic yet very simple. Control. And she lost control. She also drilled it in private and public. She drilled the following: let go of the small things. They simply don't matter. The problems that eat you up inside over senseless arguments or disputes or whatever, these little inconveniences that we exaggerate in our minds, she found a way to just push them aside. And that message is a very important one for someone like me. And I told her this. I can get lost in the details and get tied up in battles that don't go anywhere. And it becomes a senseless war, mostly fought in here, in my mind. And I started learning that there's another way to do it, which is simply go big, think about the bigger picture, and appreciate the happiness that comes. And the smaller things in the end simply just don't matter. She's right. It's by pure coincidence that friends of hers were standing next to me at Anis last night, in Marim Khayel, a bar that had its final goodbye last night, shutting down. Friends of hers approached me. This happens quite often, where her friends that heard the episode, they tell me their feelings about the episode. And at the beginning, I didn't know that they knew me from there. I thought they were just fans of the podcast. And Halim and Nadine. Nadine helped me get a drink. I thought she's just being friendly, but she didn't say right away that she knew me. And Halim also didn't mention it at the beginning, that he was very close friends with the Daou family, with Aimee's father, George. But at the end of the night, just past midnight or so, the three of us decided to just go see Aimee together. And we were planning on doing it actually now, these days. We were going to just surprise her, head up to Betroun and see her. Of course, now we're going together to pay condolences. I'm meeting them shortly. I suggested that we message Aimee last night. Just a short message. And I sent a photo, the three of us, and I wrote, "You're loved." And it seems like she saw it. The 2 checks that make me believe that she did see that 3 people on the streets of Beirut were thinking about her and expressing their love for her. So I hope she saw it. But if not, I hope she knew how much she was really loved. In all of these conversations, the love was real and it was shared regularly. And I felt it too. I'm going to quote Warren Zevon here. The last lines of that song. "I was born to rock the boat. Some may sink, but we will float. Grab your coat. Let's get out of here. You're my witness. I'm your mutineer." For Michelle, for Junior, George, for Mutineer, for her mother Zena, for the Bolero community, for Batroun, and for everyone's life that she impacted in Beirut and in this country. She was a mutineer. May her soul rest in peace.